What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to EP09. All right, welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. We officially have the competitors list for the Big Man Weekend, the final chance for competitors to qualify for the 2025 Olympia. And there's a few notable names in this lineup that I'm definitely looking forward to seeing here. Lewis Breed returning to the stage. Mark Hector, for those of you that may follow Mark, he actually had some medical issues recently, and this could be one of the last times that we see Mark Hector actually on stage. We have Matthias Hallwick taking a surprising 4th place at the Prague Pro quite recently, actually finishing just above 5th place HorseMD, so we will see that matchup here. Pablo Lopez will be returning to the stage. Amir Omaragic after taking 3rd place at the Prague Pro, so we'll see Amir back here. Andrea Presti, you guys, for those of you that saw what happened at the Prague Pro, the 3rd call out for Andrea Presti, a lot of people didn't agree with that. A lot of people thought that he did not get a fair look at the Prague Pro. So we will see him return to the stage as well. And I would say the favorite going into this show, Akim Williams, who took 2nd place at the Romania. You guys, he is looking unbelievable. We'll get to him in a minute here. Christian Wolski, I don't want to skip over him though. Definitely a competitor that everyone needs to keep their eye on here. Excellent physique. We'll see how he shows up to the Romania Pro. But look, let's take a look at the most recent update here from Akim Williams. And as you can see here, Akim is continuing to show up with, I think, better conditioning every time we see him on stage here. If this is going to translate over to the stage, this could be one of the most conditioned athletes that we've seen take the bodybuilding stage, really in all of 2024. I mean, look at the striations in the lower back here. And Akim's back is really a weak point when it comes to his entire physique here. So he may not have the size in the back, but he is definitely bringing the conditioning, the hamstrings, the glutes, everything here. You can see the separation from the biceps, triceps, shoulders. This is absolutely fantastic. I definitely think that Akim Williams is the favorite going into this weekend to take home the win. And I think a lot of people may forget the fact, or maybe just are not necessarily aware, that Akim Williams took 6th place at the 2020 Olympia. You know, to stand in the top 6 at any point in your career, I mean, you definitely should be watching out for this guy. He did have a few years where we did not see that same look on stage, but without a doubt, him and Chris Aceto have found the formula, and he has continued to bring a better and better package every time he has hit the stage, really since we saw him start taking the stage at the Arnold Classics there last year. So, like I said, I do think that Akim Williams will be taking home the win this weekend, but there are a couple of guys that may give him a pretty good push. And I think HorseMD is going to be one of those competitors. Now, we have an update here from Horse at 5 days out of the show as well. To be honest with you guys, I had to zoom in on this video pretty substantially. For some reason, he decided to take this video from extremely far back here, so we have no idea what he really looks like based on this footage. I have no idea why in the hell he decided to do it like this. But we did end up getting this update from HorseMD as well, where you can see the conditioning factor is definitely going to be on point for HorseMD. And we've been consistently seeing, I think, better conditioning from Horse this year, almost to the point where you can start putting him in a conversation for winning a pro show. You know, the size factor, he did end up putting some size from the 2023 season on as well, and that's exactly what he needed to do. He needed bigger arms, he needed to make sure that he kept that midsection tight, because the midsection was starting to get a little bit out of control for HorseMD. It was starting to look just that little bit more wide, but it looks like he did end up taking that and doing very well with it. So from what we are seeing now from HorseMD, especially from the front shots and the side shots, we are definitely seeing him start to fulfill his full potential. The back, I think, is showing some promise, although it's definitely the part that does need to come up. But look, the fact of the matter is, his back was way worse than this last time we saw him take the stage, you guys. You know, prior to 2024, it just was not the same HorseMD. So we are seeing some improvements in the back here, and the conditioning factor in the back as well. I mean, these are world-class hamstrings. Look at the size, look at the separation. I mean, it does not get much better than this when it comes to the lower body from the back. He even has the calves to really match the physique. But with some more size through the lats, you know, just to be able to really bring out that X frame, this guy could be absolutely standing on that Olympia stage someday. So HorseMD, definitely, I think, in the running for the top 2 or top 3 when it comes to the big man pro. But, you know, he's going to be pushed, I think, by guys like Amir Omaragic, who just ended up taking 3rd place at the Romania as well. So it's going to be a very interesting show. Not necessarily the deepest lineup, but definitely some top quality competitors. You guys let me know who you think is going to end up taking home that win in Romania, and let me know what you think of HorseMD here. Does he have what it takes to really defeat Akim Williams? You know, not a lot of people asking that question in particular. Personally, I don't necessarily think so, but I do think there is a very good chance that HorseMD will win a pro show and that we will see him stand on that Olympia stage someday. All right, we're going to round this one out with an update from Nick Walker. Yet another off-season physique update. And Nick is definitely looking good here. I think that the upper body is just as good as what we've ever seen when it comes to Nick being in the off-season. Maybe a little bit softer than what we're used to seeing from Nick, but you can see that it's all there, especially once he really starts pushing some compounds again. I mean, this is just going to blow up, you guys. I am expecting a full-blown mutant Nick Walker when he does take the stage in 2025. From the back, again, a little bit softer than what we're used to seeing from Nick, but you guys just can see that it's definitely all there. Actually, the hamstrings are looking pretty good, especially after you suffered that injury. So looks like that's not something that is going to hold him back. But the question, of course, around Nick Walker is going to continue to be the legs. Will Nick be able to bring up his legs to match his massive upper body? And from what we're seeing here so far, I do think that maybe we're seeing some improvements in the legs here. It's very, very difficult to tell at this point when it comes to Nick making improvements, but he has been working his legs quite substantially, actually using the RP Strength app, which he kind of came off of for a while, but he decided to come back to. And I've actually seen some conversation online that, you know, people are surprised that Nick can even make any progress on his legs by doing so little weight. I mean, this is not what you would expect from a guy that is pushing, you know, almost 300 pounds at this point. I think the last update I saw, he was like 288, but clearly this is working for Nick, working within like the 15, 16, 18 rep range, I believe. This is something that seems to be working. Will it be enough for Nick to actually come back with substantial improvements when it comes to the legs? Well, I guess time is going to tell. See, for me, I'm really from the school of really hard, intense training. That's always been something that's worked very well for me. And it's just something that I enjoy doing. You know, this slow, concentrated movements, I'm not saying that it doesn't have its value. Clearly it does. But for me, I don't know. It's just not how I enjoy to train necessarily. But for Nick, hey, if it's going to work, then I definitely think that this is something that he should continue to do. It looks like he is going to continue prioritizing the legs. I believe he said he was actually coming off of his back workouts a little bit because, I mean, his back is just fantastic as it is. But look, this is what we have from Nick Walker as of right now. Not a lot of talk surrounding his coach since that announcement being Kyle Wilkes. I think that Nick is really becoming his own standalone athlete again. And I think the talk has kind of died down on the whole, you know, Nick Talker situation. At this point, maybe some people aren't necessarily paying, you know, as much attention to Nick, and we're just waiting to see what happens when he finally does take that stage. But I can almost guarantee when Nick does announce the next show that he's going to do, it will be all eyes on Nick Walker, without a doubt. We still don't know what shows Nick is planning on doing, but he is planning on doing multiple shows in 2025. And look, I think it's going to be very exciting. So I am still encouraged by Nick here. When a lot of people have lost faith in Nick, I still remain steadfast in the fact that Nick can continue to make improvements. I do think that he can bring up the legs. I don't think that they're a lost cause. And look, I think that Nick can still make it in the top 3 in the Olympia someday. I don't know what year that could be, especially with what we're seeing now, but look, he's done it once. I do believe that he can do it again. So you guys let me know what you think about that in the comments section below. But stay tuned right here on EP09. We are filming another episode of the Bodybuilding Breakdown tomorrow with Lee Priest, Xavier Wills, and Marks Max Muscle. So if you guys have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments below. But for now, I'm going to wrap up the video right here. Thank you guys for tuning into EP09. Be sure to like and subscribe.